All right, good morning, cyber traders. Happy holidays and Merry Christmas to all. Good to see you all, everybody. Good to see you, Gene. Good to see you, Bill, Norman, everybody on YouTube. Welcome back. And Facebook, Belle, Christine. Look at all the wonderful voices out there. Oh my God, everyone showed up on the last day of the before Christmas Eve. You know, we are closed tomorrow. The markets are closed tomorrow, so I really love that Christmas is on a Saturday because you got Christmas Eve on a Friday with any holiday because you have there's certain days that you have off time of the year, and it's always nice that holiday, if it's 4th of July, if it's any of those days. I mean, obviously no Memorial Day, but it's kind of hard to pinpoint these. New Year's Eve, Christmas Eve, all those are great, but we're looking awesome. But it's good that you guys showed up this morning. I was actually disappointed this morning. I'm looking at the watch list. I'm like, damn, it's really bad out there. And looks like we got a couple of pops that just came in like the last 5 minutes just because you showed up. We had this KTTA just literally just took off. So that one looks pretty cool. We're going to check that out and see how that one worked out. But before we do that, we had a couple of stocks that had some big moves yesterday. We're going to talk about them. Let me just look at something right here. All right. And I actually I lost money on one stock, and I'm glad that I got out because if I didn't, I would have got really beat up pretty bad. And I was doing it in the pre-market. We're going to talk a little bit really bad. Listen, we talk about the good, the bad, and most importantly, the ugly. Remember, we always say, Cyber Trading University's job is not to teach you how to make money. We're here to teach you how to stop losing it. And I love talking about losers as much as it's not like that fun to talk about. But we all know that the reason why most of us get into this business is because we learn, we see the potential, how much money you can make. But then there's our issues like, yeah, but like, it's those few stocks that got you, and you like, do you hold it, and then you become a day trade, it becomes a swing trade, and so on. But I want to talk about this one stock that got destroyed, hammered yesterday. So I'm telling you, I can't remember the last time I saw a stock go from 80 down to 10. I mean, just envision this. Your house is worth $800,000, okay? In one night, it's worth $100,000, like that. Think how, even some of you own a business. Could you imagine you had $1 million business and all of a sudden overnight, let's say you had and we all know it could happen. You got a fire, you got robbed, whatever it is. And now from that 800,000, that's worth, literally $100,000. Companies really, when they lose their pharmaceutical drug, whatever they did, this stock was literally $160. I'm not even, in February. $10 it dropped down to. So anyway, I owned a restaurant, Bill. So you know what I'm talking about. I mean, like all that money you worked and so hard, and it's not even the money too, the time that you put in, right? Because you're obviously you're worth something. You know what I mean? So anyway, this stock yesterday, I trade in the pre-market. I just want to bring up the 2-day chart on this so you can see what it looks like. So you can see right here, this stock gapped up, and it had a nice little push. Go back a little bit further. You can't see from there. All right. So it had a nice little push, and it ran all the way to about 13. I got in around 12:20, and I was like, oh, this thing's gonna pop. We get a dead cat bounce. Even though, listen, I practice what I preach, but like this was a little bit historic. The stock started going back up. Then I got out. And from selling at 13, I got out at around 11.50. And I'm like, damn it. And this is like, in the pre-market. And I'm like, ugh. So I thought we had a nice little pop, and it didn't. It went down. Watched it right around here in pre-market around 8:30. I saw another pop, went down to 10.40. Saw it go back up. I jumped in right around 10.75. Went up. I'm like, oh, this is going to be great, right? Boom. What does it do? Boom, it comes right back down. I get out 10.40. I lose twice. Okay? Did it again. I lost 3 times. Now, remember, we always teach you. 3 strikes, you're out. Over. Game over. I end up losing about 50 cents in total. in this position with all the trades. And this is what you have to look at it right at the gate. Okay, if I didn't get out of this stock in the pre-market and saw it happening, it went all the way down to about $8.60. And let me tell you, and I want to spend a little time on this because the reason I'm talking about it is because of this wonderful window. Okay, so level 4. There was guys selling it. I saw it was going up, and then all of a sudden I saw like big sellers coming up, selling 50,000. It kept refreshing. Now, you know, we talk about this in phase 3. They were refreshing. They would just keep updating their quote. They were selling, and it was such a teaser. It was going. I'm like, damn, this guy's got a lot of shares to sell. And I'm like, you know what? I got to take my lickings. Let me take my hit. I'll make it back in the market. And sure enough, you saw the pattern, and boom, the thing went out. It went straight down. So I thought this was a really good thing. I just want to spend a little time talking about it because a lot of you here, and I know Josh brought it up yesterday, when you're down, you got to just focus to get to break even. Don't try to you just got to tip away. It's very hard to dig yourself out of a hole and that's what I was basically trying to do. So I was down pretty not substantial, a lot more than I wanted to, but I got back to about half. So what I averaged on my lose. So I still lost money yesterday, but let me tell you, I would have got hammered yesterday only because the experience that we all get with a stock like this, knowing that, you know, even these things, they don't come back. I mean, it was down 70 points for crying out loud. You know what I mean? Like, maybe just $1, it would have bounced, maybe $1. It went down another $3. It's amazing how these people know, you know, that even that is worthless. So it's just, I haven't seen a stock like this go down that much. I thought it was pretty cool. So that's why I'm spending some time on it. But listen, being down 50 cents is a hell of a lot better being down $3, or someone held it overnight when it was at 80 down to 10. I've seen people get destroyed, crushed. Imagine all the people who work there, all right? Forget about us trading. Imagine all the people that work there that lost everything, their pensions, everything, you know, that they worked for their whole lives. You know, and remember, they're like, oh, honey, we got $160 stock. That's a lot of money. And now all of a sudden it's worth $10. I wouldn't want to make that phone call. Anyway, so that was a good educational stock. There were a couple of other ones. SOFA was awesome yesterday. This thing, now let's talk about positive, what did move. This thing did not want to stop yesterday. This was awesome. So this stock out of nowhere had a nice little pop around 9:30, and then remember I told you around 10:30 we get a little bit of a push. So all of a sudden this thing started picking some momentum. Went from 11, 11:50, 12, and then to 12 o'clock it had this big spike. Did a little bit of shake. 12:50 went to 14. Did a little shake. Boom! It ran all the way to almost $18. That was literally the best stock out of them all. And you know what? She's back on the watch list again because she is moving pretty good. Now the thing is this. This stock right here, you could see, was obviously an IPO. Took a major hit. It went from 40 down to about 950. It started being a little bit of a gap fill. Now, this stock dropped all the way down, believe it or not, all the way down to $3.50, okay? From starting almost at 80, the thing was at, you know, just on, about a little bit more than a month ago. So she started to pick up little by little. So now she all of a sudden, from becoming a day trade, now she became a little bit more of a swing trade. So SOFA's doing pretty good. That's on the watch list again. And other than that, everything was pretty much crap yesterday, okay? All garbage. Now, a couple of stocks I want to throw on here. We got the KTTA. That one also just had a nice little pop right there. Cheap little stock, level 1 stock. If you're an advanced trader, you could trade more of it. Some of you remember we traded at the end of November. The stock had a nice little short squeeze. Went from like $2 to $9. So that's on our watch list. ENSC, another one, had a nice little pop early too this morning. Went from $5 to $6. She's starting to trend down. She's got resistance levels back in early December. You can see her in the long-term chart, but not a terrible stock. By the way, the CAT, just to let you know, there are a couple of big iceberg orders out here. Just want to point out, you can see that they're here at $1.80. I started seeing a little bit of a ladder effect. She's trying to peak up there. So far, like the KTTA is everyone could afford to trade that stock. That stock is, if you're a beginner, advanced, you know, at advanced rate, you just trade more. KXIN, KXIN, another stock, another cheap little stock, nice little level one. It's up 19%. You know, nickels and dimes right here. But I do just be careful trading the stock, ALLY. 3 strikes, I'm out. I'm not interested. I'm going to stay away from it. I want to bring up one stock which everyone is very familiar with. Okay, so Pfizer. This is what kills me about Pfizer. They just came out. They got the FDA approval for their new drug for the coronavirus, and you know, and it's not even up that much. You know, I mean, we own it as a swing trade. I mean, I know that I told you I had it for. I ended up chasing it, ended up buying it at 55. I actually, believe it or not, I bought it and sold it back when I had that big dip the other day. So I bought it back a little bit cheaper. I was like, why is this thing down like $3? I mean, you know, I'll bring up the chart and show you what I'm talking about. Right here, we had that big dip right here. I'm like, what the hell's going on? And I'm like, this thing had such a big run up. So I ended up getting out right around here, around 58. Because, you know, 58 was a big support levels, remember, a while ago. I ended up buying it back. Then it started hitting teeter totter. I ended up buying it back around 58. So I basically saved about 50 cents on it, but I'm glad I bought back into it. This got me really nervous. I don't know what this was all about on that big correction right there. But listen, it's got to break this resistance levels around, you could see it here. It's got to break this 60, 50 price range. You know, if it starts breaking that, go a little bit higher, listen, all-time highs, that's what we want. So that one's looking good. Bill, see, that's the thing, Bill, what you just mentioned, and I'll put that in the you know, because not a lot of people could read that in YouTube. So Bill Ireland is actually one of our active traders here. Just share that with some of you in here so you can see what he's writing. But listen, we have a lot of new traders that come in here, and we have a lot of people watching this on a recording or on a YouTube channel, and a lot of you are new trial members here. Everybody wants to trade options, right? Because they love the story, they love the leverage, they love. You know how hard it is to trade options? You know how many people have different strategies to trade options? Let me tell you how you trade options, okay? You want to know the best way to trade options? The best way? Be a good stock trader first. Once you know how to trade the stock, then you know what option to trade, okay? So don't be sitting there, oh, what's Tesla options doing today? Exact good option. Ooh, what's Apple options doing today? You know, I say that all the time because that's the mistake that people make. Well, I can't afford Facebook, so I'll just trade the options. No. Bill Iron just said it perfectly. We saw Pfizer. You got to learn how to diversify yourself. You got to be liquid in cash, trade your stocks, and then maybe you say, you know what, I like this stock. I don't want to swing trade it because I want to time my buying power. You know what? I'll take a little bit of a risk. You could risk something a lot better, you know, a little bit more riskier if you really like the stock that much. But you don't wake up in the morning and says, okay, look, what options I'm going to do today. Learn how to trade the stock first. It's black and white. When you're good at it, then you'll become a very good option trader. And that's how you do it. All right. And also, if you really want to learn options, I always tell everybody, just buy it, but buy one option and see what happens. That's how I tell everybody. Just like when you joke around, I tell people when they see these things run, buy one share. What could happen? Okay, what are you going to lose? Just buy it. Just see what happens. But trading on demo does not work. All right, guys, listen, let's get back to the market's opening up in 15 minutes. Before we go, I want to wish everybody here, if I don't see you after today, remember, we'll be back at 2:30. But I want to wish everyone a very, very Merry Christmas. Make sure you go out there and buy yourself a gift, a present, whatever it is, if you did well today. Listen, I really think 2022 is going to be great. And also wish everybody a happy holidays and a happy new year. Just be very careful next week. A lot of people are going to be away, so I'm not expecting to be a super excited one. But listen, you never know what happens. All right. Thanks, Eric. See everyone. See everybody in the trading room, and everybody on YouTube. I'll see you back here at 2:30.